Hey guys, it's Vicky. I'm so glad to have you back. Hi. I see so many of you do that. It's funny. So welcome to number 2 in my little mini series of double page spread layout shares in my Creative Memories albums. Today I'm going to show you as much as I can within my 15-minute little slot that I've allocated to these videos. And this is going to be just a few beach layouts, and this is my chocolate brown album. Chocolate brown is the color I've chosen for all of our travel. So quite frankly, travel started, when I started scrapbooking over 20 years ago, I used to use a burgundy album, and I believe those were discontinued, so then I shifted over to brown. But anyway, they still look good on my shelves, and I know what's in them. So let me go through this, and I'll show you some layouts. But this video, because of what I'm going to be doing, you might see fewer layouts in the same amount of time, only because my dear friend Carmen had asked a question about how I actually assemble my pages. So I want to explain that very quickly. But my very quickly might not be very quick. Depends how much sense I make. So first I'm going to show you. Here is the first page I wanted to show you. And I still have to add the date. So that's what this little paper here is for. So this was summer of 2019. We went to Nova Scotia to visit some family. And as much as I took tons of pictures, I still feel like I didn't take enough. Do you guys do that? I feel like I should be taking more. And then I look at the albums and I've got tons, but God, I don't know. I have so many regrets. So anyway, Carmen, let me tell you how I do this. So if any of you are interested, if not, just skip forward a little bit just to see a few more layouts. But what I do when I go to select my photos for my layout, I usually stick to about 6 per double page, 3 per page. I've had some in the past where I've had more. Sometimes I only have 2 per page. Sometimes if I do a grid layout, which you will see shortly as well, then I get 12 per page or more. So it all depends. Like for example, here on this left side, I have 3 pictures. When you look at these two, they could have definitely been trimmed down. This one I wouldn't want to trim down. So I kept these 2 large as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with seeing a little bit of landscape. I actually think that looks great. And the reason I chose to put my nephew in the middle there, it just makes sense. It looks like it, I think the balance would be off, or the symmetry or something, if I had put that picture here or here, for example, and these 2 beside each other. So it kind of naturally comes out when you're doing these layouts, what looks best where. Like another example is this. So these are just pictures of the boys playing. I chose to put this one on the left hand side because Anthony's kind of facing right, and I chose to put this one on the far right because he's facing left. So it kind of closes up the page, you know what I mean? And this one's in the middle because they're both sort of standing and looking forward. So that's what I do. And when I'm looking at this, I mean, I have 12, they're 12 by 12. So I have 12 inches to play with horizontally. If I chose to keep my 4 by 6s without cropping them, I would literally have 3 butted up one against another without any space in the middle, obviously. 3 times 4 is 12, right? But what I do, I use my Creative Memories trimmer, and this thing is ancient. I've had it forever and I love it. Let me just show you what I do. This is where, so I'll use this as an example. There's Kathy and her 3 handsome boys. I would always put, whoops, hold on, I'm doing this with one hand. To trim, I would always put my picture right there. So that's like 3 and, what would that be? Just over 3.5, 3.8 maybe inches. I'm not exactly sure, but that's where I always trim. So you just get a tiny bit removed, And that'll make it, so here, let me show you. This is 4x6 not trimmed, and this is what it will look like when it's trimmed. That's much smaller. So then I can fit my 3 across. Sometimes I trim up the tops and bottoms too. In this particular case, I did, because I wanted to fit them over here without, you know, just focusing on the main part of the photo. And that's it. And then how do I go about choosing my colors and stuff? That's all based on my photos. This is why I cannot do those beautiful pre-made pages, or base pages as my darling friend Janet calls them. I can't do them. I don't scrapbook that way, but I know it's an amazing idea for those who do. So I mentioned in my previous video, that would mean essentially doing the entire page minus the pictures, and then coming back later and adding your photos. So I can't do that. Everything for me is based on my pictures. For example, why did I choose blue here? I based it on the boys' swim trunks. You know, that was the color that was most prominently featured other than the sand color. So that's how I go about doing my page. And then I just play around with all the pretty embellishments. Yeah, that's about it. Carmen, also what I do, so I would do this. I would do my pictures and I'd lay that off to the side. I would adhere this first. That's what I did here. And I kind of build up from there. So that's first. And I adhere my, so like my big strips with this stuff, just double-sided tape, and, or the thinner one, depends. And I adhere my photos with Creative Memories Tape Runner, which I'm completely out of right now, or these glue dots that I just get on Amazon, and they're, let's see. You can also buy the Zots at Michael's or wherever. Oops, hold on. So that's what they look like. I absolutely love my glue dots, but I use them mainly for photos. So 1, 2, 3, 4 glue dots. Then I squish them down and my photo's nice and sturdy. Years ago, I used to use that darn ad tech stuff. Man, oh man. I know that a lot of you had the same issues, because I've seen threads on Facebook where, you know, you have a book and 3 years later you go back to look through it and everything's fallen and sitting in your page protector. Got to be careful with that adhesive. Like the Dollarama stuff is really brutal. So just a fair warning, it's happened to me and a lot of the friends I know that scrapbook. So, and that's it. Like I do that. Then I add all my embellishments. Here's some cute stickers. These are fussy cut out from a paper pad that I had from Michael's 1,000 years ago. And then little details, like I have so much twine that I'm trying to use it. So just little things like that. And that's it. Oh, photo corners too. I love photo corners. They just kind of finish off the page, and I have so many of them, I might as well use them, right? So that's that. That's one page. I think, did I answer your question there? Carmen, I hope I did. If not, let me know and I'll see what else I can tell you. But that's that. Then the next page of that day is this, which looks completely different. Like the colors here are completely different than the colors here. And of course, there's a reason for that. I mean, I'm kind of basing it on the towel that my sister-in-law is wearing. And here the boys were like skin color and blue. So, oops, didn't mean to hold up my middle finger. Sorry. There you go. That's the next one. And here I use that same little twine, like that. I just cut, wait a minute. Yeah, I just cut it to fit, and then just adhered it down with wet glue with this stuff, which I love. So I use that often as well. And just a little bit more twine up here. These were cutouts from, I bought at Scrap Fest once. These are stickers I had forever. Like this stuff, I just use what works. Like I mentioned last time, I'm not scrapbooking with a specific collection. I just use what I have. And these colors all go very well together. Oh, and these are my little my lame attempt at making my own enamel dots with my Nuvo drops. They look so funny. If you look at them close up, they look funny. From a distance, they're great, but they're not, they're funny. They're not perfect looking. It's okay. They do the job. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes. Let's see how many more I can show you. Oh, I like this one. Okay, so I mentioned in my previous video that I really love that Tim Hortons layout I did. For whatever reason, there's just something about it. In this album, this one happens to be my favorite layout. I just love it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. It makes me so happy. And thanks to Kathy, she was destashing some of her stuff, or decluttering her stash, however you want to say it. And she had this blue paper in one of the packages of stuff she no longer wanted. But Kathy, you're going to regret that, because look at it. It looks so cute. So it looks perfect for water. And that's kind of what I put it in here for. It just works very well. So that's that pattern paper. And then look at this. Let me show you on here. It's probably easier because there's no page protector. Look at the shimmer on that. I love that. So I used a little bit of this. And for this, I literally just cut strips. I mean, there's no sense in, wasting this much of that copper paper when I only need it at the top and bottom. So that's what I did there. Then this cute little sun was from a pattern paper from a very long time ago that just had a bunch of different size suns. And I cut them out, I fussy cut them out, and now I have a little bag in my summer stash of suns. Cute little tags. I know those were from Fancy Pants. And these adorable little shells in Sand Dollar, they are from House of Scraps. I bought that at Scrap Fest, and they're brads, and you can kind of see when I go like this, I took off the little metal backers and I just popped them up on little pop dots. So that's what that is. Here are these cute foam words. They feel so nice. A random chipboard piece, another one of those tags. I stuck some more twine in there. Another one of these. Oh, and some washi tape, which I very rarely use, but I have to remind myself that I should use. And this looks like a flare, but it's not. It's just a nice chunky chipboard piece and some more of those words that I always love. So there you go. Okay, I have about 2 more minutes left. Let me see how much I can get through. This is not done, but I can go. Okay, so and this is how I do my books, by the way. I have all my pictures already in, like waiting to go. Like, for example, see this? That's the first page of when we went to see my nephew play baseball. And so that's consecutively in here. Then there's more of that, which I'm going to get to. And that pops me over to this section. And that's how I work. Because they're Creative Memories albums, it's a little bit more challenging if you have to put pages into spots when you've already scrapbooked. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just slip it in a page protector and pop it in like you can in the binders. That's why it's a little more challenging, but I'm fine with that. I'm so used to my system that it works perfectly for me. Anyway, here's another one, and it's just cute to me because I'm using all these adorable little embellishments from Rosie's Studio. I love Rosie's Studio stuff. And this is very simple. I mean, what's there to it? Nothing. I picked all the colors mainly based on what my daughter's wearing, her little rainbow cover up there. And I went with that. So very easy, my usual look where I have my journal box split like that. And then when you go on to the next page, again, it's based on what she was wearing and what my son was wearing. It matches absolutely perfectly. This was just paper that I picked up at Michael's once. It has a bit of a foil, it's foiled. And then these cute little shells that are very old K & Company. Over here as well, a couple of pieces of sequins. And then last time I mentioned that I used those ribbons from gift decorating packs. Here's more of that in a pink. That's it. Let's see if I have another one in here. Yeah, so this was the same day. And this is using actually the exact same paper that I used already. And the exact same, what are these called again? Brads. Then I embellished it with a little bit of this netting that Kathy and I picked up at Scrap Fest. And really, really, really old Creative Memories paper there on the top. And all I did here, these are chipboard. I think people paint these. I didn't want to paint them. I left them as is. They're from Michaels. They're Recollections. And I just left them the color they are. And then I added some more of that same twine, just to give them a bit of a jazzier look. That's it. Journaling just on that part. Oh, guys, I'm at 16 minutes, so you know what? Why don't I stop there? I will continue with the rest in another video. How's that? If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks for coming by, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.